Liverpool v every. The week games are over. We just want to come and talk a little bit about Liverpool and just how the league is shaping up. Obviously, the Ballon d'Or is today. Just got word that that's probably a foregone conclusion that it'll be rigged once again. Surprise, surprise. But it'd be nice to just get that over with so we can just get back to focusing on our goals at hand, which are obviously keeping the string going in Premier League and then wrapping things up in the Champions League. So yeah, we'll talk today about a little bit about Brighton, then Everton, and if we have time, maybe a little bit about Champions League. But let's just go back to the Everton game. I'm sorry, not Everton game, the Brighton game.
Right. Yeah.
Wasn't able to speak to Gerri after that. So first of all, Gerri, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing? Right.
Good, good, man. Feeling good. Liverpool are doing their thing, so it's always a good feeling. Makes life in general that much
Yeah.
better. But yeah, let's break the game down. I think it's a funny old game. You know, we obviously start the game off okay. I think Brighton had some moments as well, and I just want to say I don't know about you, but I was a bit surprised at how Brighton play. I don't know if this is I assume it's the new management. The last guy
Yeah.
they had, I forget his name. The guy they had before.
New student. New
Yeah,
student.
who I thought once he left, I thought it was a bit harsh. But I'm seeing that this team is playing a bit more expansive, a bit more confident, and they played like they can match anybody on their day, which is something I have to commend. I believe uh, they got results against Spurs. Obviously, Spurs at that time just they didn't have Mourinho, so they look like a totally different team now, at least going forward. Um, but they played some good football. At the same time, I still felt like in any game, and this is just what Liverpool do to me personally, that we get the win. We get the set piece goal, the first one from Van Dijk, and usually if we score first, you get that feeling that we'll continue to get it more. Never did I imagine that he'd get a second, and I thought it was quite fitting because it was two, and it was at the time 2 days before the Ballon d'Or. But that's the Ballon d'Or. So we got Van Dijk here on his way to in the game to get almost every set piece we get or corner kick. I'm thinking we'll get a hat trick. What was your feeling just overall in that first half? Did you think it'd be a situation at halftime where we'd go out and get 3-4?
I thought we'd get the third at least. I thought kill the game off because you know what? I wasn't surprised how Brian played because when they went to Old Trafford and they've done this a lot under Graham Potter, they're trying to play this sort of honestly this sort of expansive football, but they're trying to keep the ball on the ground. You know, trying to do little 1-2 passes, little combinations. You know, little passes of play, and they do that quite well. Create little chance, a few very good chances, very tidy, very neat in possession, few good players. And the thing what I liked about Brighton was that they don't rush things. You know, they wait for the opening. You know, keep possession until they find a good chance to play that forward pass to create a chance. And I thought a 2-0, 35 minutes, until 35 minutes, we were playing fantastic football and we could have beaten them even more. But after that, it's like we took our foot off the gas. And I don't know why, really.
Yeah.
They could have easily back in that game. They didn't have any clear cut chances. I think, oh, they nearly scored that. I mean, maybe Lewis Dunk actually had a good chance. He scuffed it. But apart from that, I didn't really think they did too much in terms of creating chances, scaring us. But it was far too it looked far too, sort of comfortable. Liverpool looked far too comfortable for my liking. I wanted them to just start the game, especially in the second half. All right, Brian had good last 10 or 5 minutes. Because second half, come out and now go finish them. Right, go finish them. And we come out sort of the same. We had a few chances, Chamberlain and etc. like that, a few chances like that, but we didn't really create any clear cut chances in the second half as well. And you know, my prediction was 3-0 for the game. It could have easily been 3-0. It wouldn't have been 2-1 had it been for that red card and the free kick. So it would have probably finished 2-0 that game and be sitting here, clean sheet finally, comfortable. But as I said, it was just nervy for no reason. But yeah, it's good in it. 3 points. Can't ask nothing more. As I said, I'm not bothered about clean sheets. As long as we keep adding 3 points after every Premier League match, that's all I care about.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to the clean sheet topic in a minute because I definitely share your sentiment on that. Is Dunk, I believe his first name is Lewis. Is he a part of the England setup? Do you know?
I think he's been called up once or twice. I don't think he's currently in it. I'm not. I mean, obviously, I'm
Okay.
not the big. I'm
Yeah,
not big
yeah,
in
yeah.
that,
Right.
but I think he's been called up once or twice. I don't know if he's made a cap yet. But I think he has been in around the squad a few times. But
Oh,
yeah, he's
okay.
definitely not ready.
because he looked like he was trying to get himself into an England squad the way he played. I thought he had a really good game. He had a chance to get a hat trick. He actually scores a free kick, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah,
But also
yeah,
the one he
exactly.
scuffs, and then he got a header. So they had some chances, and Dunk was surprisingly at the center of all of that. But I thought Brighton played well, and I had to commend them on that. Um, the clean sheet thing. Let's talk about that because obviously, in a game like that, you are going to get a certain set of fans that will complain about, oh, we won the game, it was 3 points, but what about the clean sheet? And to a degree, I understand because in a game like that where you've held this team from scoring for a while, whether it be them missing their chances or us, Allison making saves or us being well defensively, whatever the case may be, we kept them long enough periods to keep it clean sheets. So to not keep it and then to concede in that manner,
Yeah,
it is frustrating. But at the same time, and this has been brought up before, and I kind of rolled my eyes at it when I heard it said before, but it's true. And what I was going to say was, last season we were fantastic defensively. It didn't win us anything in the league. So this season we're 8 points ahead of the next best team in terms
yeah,
of points. And we're not getting clean sheets, and it's frustrating, right? It's a little frustrating, but it's not something that I feel like I'm that disappointed about, especially when we're still getting wins. So the free kick, I can't even remember what was the, oh right, it was the Allison coming out, and it's a situation where let's just kind of break that down because I'm curious to know what you feel about that. Is that totally up to Allison? Is that totally his fault? Should he have backed up a little bit? How do you assess that situation and what happened?
well, when I watched it, obviously, as you say, it was a 3 p.m. kickoff here in the UK, so obviously I had to watch it on the stream. So, and obviously when you watch it on the stream, sometimes it cuts off, and I think my stream got cut off just as the long ball was about to be put over the top. And but
Uh,
when I watched the replay, I actually watched the replay again, and I saw it, and I mean, Alisson's starting position is very high up. And I think that's what caught Alisson off guard because if he's sort of, say, a few yards near the goal, then I don't think he comes out. But because he was so high up again and the striker was in behind, right, he had to do something about it. And there was a bit of panic, of nervous, so he didn't know what to do. He sees the striker coming to him, and then he goes to him, then he backs off, and then he goes again, and then he obviously he handballs it. So it was just a bit of panic, really. That's all it
yeah.
was in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it was known for no reason. I said the game should have finished 2-0 and be a comfortable win. But obviously, Adrian comes on and obviously the first shot, Dunk scores that one, and it's in. And I saw a few people blaming Adrian. I don't know why, because I mean it's not his fault that Martin Atkinson, surprise, surprise, it's Martin Atkinson again that he blows a whistle. Don't ask him, are you ready to? He's like, oh, can I take a free kick? He says, yeah, blows a whistle. Went over. I think there's a rule where Brighton had 3 attackers in their wall. You're not supposed to. Um, that's not supposed to happen or something like that. So I couldn't read it. I didn't really pay attention to it too much, but that goal shouldn't have stood. I mean, the FA put out all these different rules, but they don't even know their own rules and what they mean. So, you know what I mean? VAR and all this stuff, they're still not getting decisions right. They're still not getting decisions right in the league. No problem with Allison. No problem. That's a clear red card. He comes out, he handballs it. Clear red card. But that goal shouldn't have stood. It should not have stood, and it should have been 2-0. Allison said, oh, okay, but that goal shouldn't have stood. Right? So it's disappointing. Alisson's out for the one match against Everton. But as I said, 3 points, not really too bothered. I think Adrian will come in and do a fine job for the one game. And Adrian, I mean, his luck is incredible, isn't it? He's going to be making 10 league appearances against Everton. So, I mean, who would have thought that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost good when things like this happen because we're not opposed to having these free or not free these quick situations as well. Obviously, it happened in the Barcelona game. I think you've always got to be cued on. You got to be always ready. If you're always ready, you don't have to worry about getting ready and having these mistakes. Not that I blame Adrian, but what I will say is it's a situation where in the future we know to be ready. I don't know if you remember that game against Chelsea where
Yeah,
uh
WE's.
yeah, you just got to be ready. And I know that's maybe sound harsh to some people, but you just have to be ready. And I think in that moment, when you're playing against a team like that, they'll feel like, damn, we had our chances. Let's try to do something quick and catch them off guard. They'll feel like we can try to get something quick here, sneaky here, cheeky, whatever you want to call it. And so you just have to be set up as quickly as you can. And to see a goalkeeper just walking towards a shot being taken, it does make you feel a certain way because it's like, okay, but could he have tried to stop that a bit more? Did he feel like, well, surely this will be called back?
I don't think it was just him not ready. I think the wall wasn't ready as well. They're all looking around, they're all surprised really. And I think that's the whole thing. If it was just him, setting up the wall, where obviously everyone's ready, then fair enough. But I just don't think that he wasn't ready, along with the wall. So that's why I don't really blame him too much. I mean, as I said, the rules state that goal shouldn't have stood. That's what the rules state. So if we're going by the law, if you're talking about the law in terms of handballs and all this stuff, why can't we follow every single? What's the point of having a rule book if you're not going to follow it?
Yeah. But see, that's kind of my point. How many times have we said certain things have happened this season that don't go against the so-called rules? So, in my opinion, as a supporter watching it, and if I'm managing that team, I'm saying, look, we've seen things go wild. The rule book is the rule book. Sometimes they haven't stuck to the letter of the law on that. We just have to be ready no matter what. You know what I mean? Because these things can go against you, and there's nothing you can do now. You can't change that they scored the goal. They scored the goal. They're not going to change it. We've seen VAR not work as consistently as it should. And so, I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I just think at the same time, it's probably just a good lesson for us. It's a good lesson for us because we have to be ready in these situations, no matter what. Yeah. When the whistle is blown, when the whistle is blown, you have to be ready. That's the simple as that. The whistle's blown. I know it seems like it's not fair and all that, but again, a team like Brighton, who's trying to get something from this game, knowing that they can get a bit of momentum from our keeper being gone, they're going to try everything they can in the book and bend the rules as much as they can. So they did it. I can't knock them for it. And again, when things like this happen, I just hope that it's a good omen for the future because we'll be prepared, hopefully, next time this happens.
I agree because what I said was when the goal obviously took place, I said that goal shouldn't have been stood. But I said at the same time I said to my mate, I said, you know what? I said we should have been ready. I said we took too long to make up that wall. It wasn't. Lewis Dunk is going to score 25-yard shot, 30-yard shot, wherever it's from. He wasn't going to score that. So I think maybe it was a bit of a shock from the red card. We woke up a bit from that. I don't know, but as I said, as long as Blue 2-1. At the end of the day, we haven't won the Premier League in 30 years. So at the minute, I don't care how we win. As long as we don't care how we win, we need to get this monkey off our back. We need to win the league.
Yeah, and that's it. Again, that's when it comes back to a full circle. It's basically we can talk about the conceding the goal and how disappointed we might be, or if it was his fault or whatever. At the end of the day, we won the game. Surely after that goal, it's a bit nervy, which is unfortunate, and that's because of the goal. But we kept fighting it and we got through it with 10 men. Let's not forget that. And it wasn't like it was at the 88th minute. It was around the 77th minute mark. So it still takes a great deal of mentality to keep your nerve and get through that game, whether you're frustrated about whatever happened or not. So, how did you feel about the substitution? Because there's another talking point is people are being really upset at the midfield performance, and saying that apparently there was a lot of people on social media getting on Genie and wondering we pay all this money for Naby Keita, when he's going to come in. Just first of all, I guess we should talk about the midfield. Did you think the midfield was as bad as I'm hearing some people saying?
No, I don't really think so. I thought Anderson had a good game, to be honest with you. I thought we had a good game. I thought Chamberlain was a bit poor, if I want to see. I thought Chamberlain had the greatest game. Wijnaldum, obviously, his usual self, running around. In these sort of games, you're not going to see Wijnaldum a lot doing, things where you go like, wow. He's in that team where he goes unnoticed. I think we know that. Obviously, he's a big game player, Wijnaldum. That's where you sort of see Wijnaldum getting in the box or making these in open games. This is where Wijnaldum looks his best. But in these sort of games, Wijnaldum just keeps possession ticking, and obviously does the things that the manager asked him. That's why Wijnaldum started every single Premier League game this season. There's a reason why Wijnaldum starts every single game. So I don't think the midfield is that bad. Obviously, with Fabinho, obviously you do miss him in certain aspects, but I thought we were quite good actually without him. Henderson is a 6, which I told you that if Henderson and Oxlade-Chamberlain start together and Wijnaldum, Henderson will be in the 6 because Chamberlain can't play on the left-hand side. I know, I think it was Salim that said it's going to be Genie in 6. It wasn't. It was going to be Hendo because Hendo and Oxlade-Chamberlain can't play as ace because Chamberlain and Hendo play on one side together and they're not sort of like Wijnaldum and Milner are. So yeah, but no, I thought the midfield was actually okay. Obviously, you do miss Fabinho because I felt that a lot of times Brighton were running into our defense. Well, they'll get in too much space inside our sort of 18-yard box and few chances. And I think Fabinho would have probably stopped them if he was there. But no, I think, as I said, the midfield, we're going to miss Fabinho. But at the same time, we've got those 3 points that we just need to grind out these results and get these wins until he comes back in January time or whenever he's back.
Yeah. It's just nice to see that we can get goals and get wins. Again, we continue to show this, even when our front three are getting it, our midfielders aren't getting it. It's just nice to see that we can have Big Virgil up there getting those shots and well taken, both of them, incredible shots. And it's not easy going up against a guy like Duncan. I think they got some other 6'7" dude they play in defense. That could be a pretty dominating defensive force when it comes to set pieces. Go ahead.
Webster, Dan Burn.
Yeah, it's huge. So yeah, I thought the both goalkeepers, or I should say all three, had their moments of making good saves, especially their keeper did really well. I think Ox had at least one or two chances to get some goals. There was a moment where obviously Genie squares it over to Mane. He scuffs it. So we had our fair share of chances to again finish the game off. But listen, man, it doesn't get any easier, and this is why I say things like on paper. You talk about, Fabinho's out, and we got well, I should say people talk about, we have these, and in general, the feeling is they're lesser teams than the first half of the games that we play in the season. So, and that's true. But on paper is one thing, but these teams are always going to bring it, especially when they're playing us, whether it be home, away, whatever the case may be. So, we're going to have more nervy moments. This isn't the end of it, and people should just start getting used to that. But as long as we continue to get these points, I don't really see why there's too much of a complaint. I mean, you listen to some of these Liverpool podcasts, and you think that we just dropped points. I mean, people are living, and I get it. You got to have something to talk about. You got a podcast or you got a YouTube channel or something. You have to have something to talk about. So you got to fill the space. You can't just talk for half an hour to an hour about how great it is that the team has continued to win games. But at the same point, I just don't want to. I hope people aren't feeling like seeing a game like that means that we should be concerned. Really, I just don't see that because now the one thing is that was interesting to me, and I could be wrong. I think is it true that they had more possession than us?
I think so. I think they had 53% possession. I think a lot of that came in the last 10 minutes of the game and the last sort of 20 because we barely touched the ball in the last 20 minutes. So obviously that balanced out. I thought we were always in control of the game anyway, even though.
Same here.
We were sort of, I was sitting back at 2-0. I was thinking Brian had a nice little bit of possession, couple good chances, nothing threatening. Right, nothing threatening. I thought, maybe they might get a chance, maybe they might cause us a few problems. Nothing threatening. I wasn't threatened at all. I'm happy, man. I'm happy with the win. I mean, we're 11 points clear. 11 points clear. Forget Leicester. Don't care what Leicester do. We're 11 points clear because City are going to finish second at the end of the Premier League season. So I'm not bothered about Leicester. I'm happy actually they won yesterday, so Marcus Silva can stay in charge. So it looks like he will be staying in charge for the game, and we're going to go beat Everton. They're going to try to put up a bit of fight for the manager, but we're going to win and he's going to get sacked. That's it. That's what's going to happen. So it's going to be a comfortable victory for us at the end of the day. We're going to win that game. I think 2 or 3-0, something like that, because I just feel like we're on this sort of rhythm and momentum where no one can stop us. Doesn't matter how bad we play, we haven't got one way of winning. We've got 2 or 3 different ways of winning, and that's why we're so good.
And that's the key. It's not just I remember there was a time where if Salah didn't have a good game, or he was out or whatever, we would struggle. And you could say there's an element of that still, but we're still finding ways to win games. And it could be Van Dijk, it could be Genie in the last minute, it can be Hendo stepping up with a goal out of the blue. It could be whoever, and we just find ways to win. It ended up being a pretty good weekend for us. Obviously, 2 of the other top 4 teams lose. Obviously, City and Chelsea could have been a third team, but that other team in Merseyside couldn't get it done. And so, what you just said is interesting to me. You said that City are going to end up being second. At one point I would have thought that, and I was like, Leicester at some point are going to drop, but they just continue to truck on. And yeah, they had, I think it was 8 goals conceded for a while. Now it's 9 with the goal from, I don't know who scored for Everton, but they conceded a goal to Everton, which I'm sure would frustrate them. But again, they found a way with a guy who hasn't played much for them, or hasn't played well. I guess if he's played Iheanacho out of nowhere. Apparently he had a good game. I didn't see the game, but apparently he had a
Yeah,
pretty good performance.
he did. He
But
did. The one performance.
but
You know
that
what I told you. You know
go
what I told
ahead.
you.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like to me that in that performance, it was his first performance of the Premier League season, right? It was his first appearance, sorry. And then it sort of reminds me, if he comes on, I think he got an assist or a goal, or he got the goal. Yeah, he got an assist and a goal. It sort of reminded me of Origi when he came on his first. I
Yeah.
forgot man comes and does it against Everton. That's what it sort of felt like. He had a brilliant game and great finishing. Obviously got the assist and one less game. I agree with you, right? They're going to win the next 2 games. Watford, Villa, no, I think they're going to win the next 2 games. And they're going to keep maybe that 8-point gap. But at one point, they got City away after that. I think City will probably beat them or draw, and they'll drop points there. And they got Liverpool at home, right? They got us at home. So it's not going to happen, It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see the only games I can see coming up for them that they could struggle in personally. I mean, look, it's the Premier League; anything can happen. They could have dropped points to Everton. It was literally a minute away from them dropping points.
Brilliant comeback. It reminded me of us, where we sort of find a way to come back all the time.
Yeah, and that's gonna bode well for that team. And again, we have to remember they don't have any European football, so they
Could he be leaving to Arsenal? Because what you said after the match is very.
yeah. See, now I saw that on YouTube. I didn't push play yet. I saw something about him commenting on the Arsenal job.
Well,
Listen, I
what
think
he said was,
if good.
well, what he said that every man has got to reduce skills. So you kind of just putting that out.
Wow. That's if I'm a Leicester fan, I don't like hearing that. But
Because as a manager, you don't say that. You can't say every manager. Big thing Arsenal, buy me because I'm. Because listen, Leicester obviously are doing better than Arsenal, but Arsenal is just a big attraction for him. Obviously, a force, and I think if
I don't know about that. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I think let's be real. In my opinion, I think Brendan Rodgers is really feeling himself right now. He had that one glorious season with us, which he's probably still talking about it as why he didn't do better. He didn't get the right signings, whatever. He went to Celtic, a nothing league, but okay, you did pretty well there. And now you come back to the Premier League and you're doing pretty good now. So Rodgers is feeling himself, and maybe he's the flavor of the month right now. Maybe he's the hot name, I guess. I don't know. But to leave Leicester when you have a perfect situation right now, perfect. You're going to probably get bad backing to go to an Arsenal team that to me just looks broken. I don't think it matters who their manager is. They just look broken. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if they get a big name, Allegri, Pochettino, I don't think will happen, or Brendan Rodgers. Maybe you'll see them improve. But if I'm him, I mean, would you go to Arsenal right now?
No, I wouldn't go to Arsenal right now. I mean, this is what I'm sort of thinking. What Brendan Rodgers might be thinking in his mind. It's not what I do because I mean, forget what the point difference and everything. Just look at the squad and look at the backing you have and look at the fans. They love you. The owners obviously love you. You got a brilliant group of players there, young players. Madison, Chilwell, and if you keep on building, you know what I mean. You can be. If you keep those players and you show that you can be a consistent team, maybe in that top 4, top 6, those players will stay and maybe players will want to come. I think you can build something there, which can be something great for the Premier League because I think Leicester are playing football the right way, brilliant football, young attacking players. Obviously, Jamie Vardy, fantastic. Tillemans, Madison, and Didi, what a midfield they have. The defence are young too. Ricardo Pereira, they play this exciting brand of football. The starting fullback. James Vardy, 32 years old, still going, top goal scorer in the Premier League with 13 goals. He's got a perfect team right there, and I don't think it'd be a wise decision for him to go to Arsenal, where they're in sort of this mess at the minute. But as we do know, Arsenal are a bigger club. They've got the stadium, they've got the players. They still do have some players there. Maybe you might want to take the challenge of rebuilding Arsenal Football Club and getting them back to the top. That's what I'm sort of thinking. If it was me, I would go. But what I'm thinking of Brendan Rodgers, you can tell by that interview that if Arsenal come in, he's taking that job straight away.
Yeah, well, that's a shame, man. Like I said, he's on cloud 9 right now. He probably just thinks he can change anything at this moment, especially what he's doing with Leicester. But yeah, I think it would be a bad choice. If he did it, cool, because it might help us more. Because I think as good as that Leicester team is, I'll admit, I mean, I don't really rate Brendan Rodgers as a top manager necessarily. I think he's a decent one, kind of in that middle echelon. But if they lose him, who's to say that they'll continue in the ways that they're doing? So I don't know. I mean, for him to say that though is pretty. I wouldn't like that if I was a Leicester fan, but that's their own situation. So yeah, I mean, we obviously knew we were going to be losing Fabinho for the Everton match, and now it looks like we're going to be losing Alisson. I think it's just that Everton match, right?
Yeah, just that bit of match. It's not violent conduct. So he's just going to miss that one.
Well, I'm glad that it wasn't worse than that. When it initially happened, people didn't know if it was going to be 1, 2, 3, whatever. So I'm glad it's just the one game.
I thought it was a red card. Pretty much fans.
Yeah. So let's move on into that Everton match.
I'll be looking forward.
Say again?
I've just been looking forward to this derby. I wanted to get this Brighton game out of the way because, the derby. Obviously, I love my midweek Premier League fixtures. So December time, I just wanted to get this derby on because I'm very excited for the derby on Wednesday.
Yeah, and it's always a big game, and of late, we've been catching Everton in a place where they just haven't been doing great, but they tend to always do a decent job against us. And I think I don't know if this will. I don't know if this result will be the demise of Silva, good or bad. If it's a good one, maybe they'll keep him on. If it's a good one for them, let's be real, is a draw. That's a great result for them. Their fans can get on social media and run their mouths and say that we're so good, but we couldn't beat them. So what are you expecting from this Everton game? Are you expecting the usual kind of street fight and a tight game? Or are you expecting Liverpool to just come out and destroy them?
I think it will be. I think Everton will come and try to sort of similar plan to Leicester. I think they'll try to frustrate. I don't think it'll be a battering. I think, as I said, my full prediction, I think it's 2-0 for the game. I do think we'll keep a clean sheet this time. I mean, I'm gonna keep on saying it until I get it right one day. No, I just don't see Everton really threatening us too much. We've got a few good players there, but I just think that midweek Premier League fixture, obviously the atmosphere was better against Brighton than it was against Napoli, right? And I think that
isn't that something?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it just shows is that we're not interested in these group stage games, until we get in a knockout. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. I mean, we just want this Premier League so badly, so badly. I think that's what we're the most interested in. This is what I'm focusing on in a minute. The Premier League. This is what I want to keep on getting through. Obviously, it's Champions League, brilliant. But until we get into knockouts, and I think we will definitely get knockouts. This is what I'm interested in. The Premier League, and getting these 3 points every game and making that gap bigger. Well, yeah, I think we'll. I can't see Everton causing us too many problems, to be honest with you. I think it'll be a sort of obviously at the start of the game they'll look to frustrate. They look to get into tackles. Obviously, Charleston, remember how dirty he was last year, getting little scruffles, Van Dijk. They're trying to do sort of that, slow the game down, but it'll be too much for Everton. And I think Salah, Firmino, Mane, this is the first time they're actually starting against Everton in a league match, which is crazy, isn't it, to think? They didn't start last year. Wait, no, I mean, that's actually incorrect. Well, it's incorrect if you're talking about 4-3-3, because 4-3-3, they never started together, but they did start together in a 4-2-3-1 last year, because obviously Gerri, Firmino, Mane, and Salah. That was actually incorrect. But I'm talking about as a 4-3-3, they're going to be starting together for the first time, so I think it's going to be too much for Everton to handle. I think we're in a good shape at the minute. Everton aren't. It's a derby of force, but we're at Anfield, and at Anfield, that only means one thing. We're going to win the game. We're going to get 3 points.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game, man. And when I go into these games, I can't help but thinking it'll be a low-scoring game and or a draw. However, this season just feels different to me for a lot of reasons, and I just think Liverpool will get through. I think there'll be moments where we're like, "Oh, come on, Liverpool, let's get this game." Yeah. It might be tight, but as I've said, I'm fine with that. I expect every game to be tough at this point, and that's pretty much shown to be true. Most of the games that we played this season, they at some moment or not, or one moment or another, it's been tight, and we've been able to find ways to win. So. Again, my motto is just get it done. However you got to get it done, last minute. If you blow them away by halftime, whatever the case may be, just get the game done. I think it's really nice to know that the keeper that we have coming in isn't Karius. It isn't Mignolet. It's a guy who started our season for us. He came in cold pretty much, and did a fine job for us. So I expect that to continue. You know, you can't expect him to not be slightly cold like he was in the Brighton game, coming at the end of the game, not expecting it. But the little small blunder that he actually got, so it was cool. I expect Adrian to be at a top level for the game Wednesday. I really do. He'll know what this means to the club, to the team, and the fact that he's part of the team. He'll know even more now. So I'm not too concerned with that. Obviously, we want all our best players, our starters, to be starting. But again, I feel like we've shown enough times that no matter who plays, particularly in those key positions, we'll be fine. So yeah, the Everton game should be just another win for us. Should be, and we can just focus on keeping it going. I think after that we have, is it Watford?
Yeah, after that we got Bournemouth.
Oh, Bournemouth. Okay.
And that's another 3 p.m. kickoff. So it's another blackout. So that's I don't know why we have so many blackouts. But after that, I don't think we get any more. We're gonna be on TV consistently. Well, over here in the UK at least. So it's Bournemouth away. Then we got Salzburg away. Then we got Watford at home. So
Okay.
I mean, we got, as I said, after City, I said we got 5 games where we should be winning before we go to the Qatar Club World Cup. So we have to be Palace away. I said that's the toughest game out of the lot, even though everything at home is a derby. Palace is the toughest out of the lot. And we got that done. Got Brighton done. Now it's time to get Everton done, Bournemouth done, and Watford. And then we head off to the Club World Cup. I said that if we win those 5 games, we are going to be... It's not going to be 9 points. It's going to be a much bigger gap than that. Because I thought City are going to drop points somewhere. I said somewhere it might be unexpected. I said it may not be against Arsenal away or Leicester home, but I said the Newcastle away or the Burnley away, that's where we're going to see City possibly dropping points. Obviously, I was proved right because I did say in the preview for the Brighton game, I said that I think Newcastle could do something in this game. And it actually ended up doing it. Because I don't see City at the minute. They just don't look the same team. I think
they don't.
I just think they've been used too much by Guardiola, too intense in terms of training sessions, and it's catching up on these players. It's really catching up on these players. I think his lack of rotation, I think as well in terms of certain players, especially in Carabao Cup competitions, you play Sterling away at Preston, you just don't see Klopp doing that. You don't see Klopp doing that. This is why Guardiola is a 3 to 4 season manager. Because he comes in, he plans out all these intense training sessions, has success for 2 or 3 seasons, then he sees that these players are getting worn out because of how intensely the training sessions are, how many matches they have, how he uses them. Then he leaves and he goes somewhere else and does the same cycle all over again. So we're going to win the league now. We're 11 points clear of City, and that's all that matters. I'm not looking at Leicester. Leicester are relevant to me. They're doing great things this season. They're going to finish 3rd or 4th. Well, I think they'll finish 3rd, right? But you never know. It's too early to say, right? So
I don't know, man. Because I've been saying this for a while now. City just don't look at it, man. And I think until they get Laporte back, and maybe even Rodri, although I feel like Fernandinho is a better option at the 6. But I don't. I just think they just look really, really beat up right now, man. And I feel like this is the thing with Pep Guardiola, man. I respect his CV and all that, but what other manager in the world can continue to be called the GOAT and not win a Champions League without Messi? Like it feels like his thing is, okay, I'll come into a new country, I'll win them some leagues, and that'll be enough. As long as I'm doing that, that'll keep the club off my back because they'll be fine with that. Especially a team like City, who has no history in the Champions League anyway that I know of. So it's easy for him to come to a team like that, all that money, get really superstar teams, and then just be relevant in the league. But then Champions League, nothing. And I just say that they haven't been close and had their chances, but more times than not, it's Pep the reason why they're not advancing. Whether he's trying to be too cute with certain tactics or not playing certain players so he can focus on the league. So I just don't get why there's no other person in the world of all time that will ever get as much hype as he is without winning a European Cup. I just don't understand it. But I just feel like you're probably right, and I think that's more of that's coming from just how good we know City can be, and how we've seen them come back from a deficit last season. Not as much of one, but they've come back, so they have it in them to do it. But I don't know. I don't know, Gary. I don't see them doing it this year, Gary.
They're going to come back over the deficit, not our one, Leicester's one. What I mean?
Maybe.
Because I think if it was 6 points or 7, 8, then you think, maybe. But it's only 3 points. I mean, that's one defeat and one win. You know what I mean? It's not a big gap at all. I'm not looking at it thinking, you know what? I'd love it if Leicester finish second. That would be brilliant. But just so many games to go. How many games is it? 20, 24?
Yeah, something like that.
38 minus 14. I mean, that's 24 games. So, I mean, there's still a lot of games to go. We're not even halfway through the season yet. I mean,
Yeah,
and we basically won the Premier League.
yeah.
So, yeah, but we've turned the Premier League into a League One, in the Farmers League. That's what we've done this season.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if we win the league this season, I think you can easily compare. I know they got 100 points that one season. We might get it this year, but I think you really got to look at and see who had the better back-to-back seasons. I know they won two back-to-back, but still, how last season only losing one game. This season, if we go on to win it, I think you really gotta talk about whose back-to-back seasons were better. I mean, really. So
you look at Guardiola and you think, listen, if we're going to win the league this season, you think, okay, say if he left after this season, so I don't think it will happen. Maybe what? Not too bothered anyway. What happens if he leaves? That's 4 seasons, right? He's won 2 Premier Leagues out of 4 years, and you think how close? And you think, I'm just obviously it's a maybe spot. Imagine if we beat Leicester last season, right? And we would have won a game, we win the league. And you think 1 out of 4 seasons. You know what I mean? 1 out of 4 seasons. He won the title so by a point last year. The other one he won because they'd won in October and he spent about 400 million before that in 2 windows. And all the teams are shit on the transition. And they weren't spending as much as this guy was. And you think that over his time at City, if he leaves here, which I think he will, without a Champions League, right? And he finishes with 2 titles out of 4 in the Premier League. Because if you look at him, he should be finishing because when he came in the first time, he came in and spent 200 million in the first season. And Conte, with this first season of Chelsea, with a team that finished 10th, they finished 10th that year, and they come in and win the league with the first season. And he didn't spend that much money. He didn't spend as much as Guardiola, did he? So in that first season, and even now, class Pep one away at Stamford Bridge, beat him at home in the league as well. You know what I mean? So Guardiola needs players for stuff. Everyone needs players for success. But he has way too many players. And that's what I don't understand. If you look at the net spend, and people say the net spend, but we spend about 450 million, right? And we've sold about 350 million in those players. So that's not even incredible. We haven't spent a lot of money if you compare what we bought and what we sold. It balances out quite nicely for the owners. It's just the Klopp. What he's done with players. He's went and bought Mane. Who knew Mane? 25 million pounds. Who knew him? Who knew Salah? Salah was doing good in Italy, but what he did at Chelsea, that was a massive risk, wasn't it? But when you see Guardiola signing and what he inherited, Klopp inherited shit compared to what Guardiola inherited. He inherited Sterling. And he's improved players, no doubt. He's a great manager, he's improved players, 100%. But what he inherited in terms of quality, Sterling, Aguero, David Silva, Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Otamendi's still at the club and playing, and he played the massive part. He's awful. He's not bad. He's not a good defender. But this is the thing. He hasn't even improved Otamendi. Klopp improved Lovren. Klopp improved Lovren. He has improved Dejan Lovren in terms of his confidence and does all-round game. And when he comes in, he does a job because he was completely on the floor when Klopp came in. And bit by bit, he improved him. And after that, the Tottenham game was a big turning point for him. So I think this is what I'm saying. He inherits a lot of players. Vincent Kompany as well, title winner many seasons. What did Klopp come in terms of defence? What, Skirtle, Kolo Toure, Sacco. You look at that attack. Firmino, who was so low in confidence, and it took him a whole 6 months for him to get to
Albi Moreno.
Moreno, Conor Randall,
Joe Allen. It was a. Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why you got to respect Klopp. Like, he takes on these real serious projects, and not every manager can do that because guys want instant success. But Klopp thought, you know what? Give me some time. I'm gonna show you. And fast forward to what we're doing now. I mean, you have to commend Klopp as a top manager just based on that. He didn't take a world class team, which is basically what Pep did. So. Again, also, I don't understand why he's still considered as a GOAT for what. Go ahead.
Klopp came in and he had to play Milner at right wing with Jordan Ibe. Milner and Jordan Ibe as right wingers at Lallana. We had no strikers. Christian Benteke was awful. He was horrific. He'd come in and score the odd penalty here and there or the odd Europa League goal, but he was atrocious, Benteke. We came in. Brendan Rodgers was buying target man after target man when it wasn't clearly working. He bought Lambert, he bought Balotelli, he bought Benteke. You know what I mean? He had Andy Carroll. He kept buying target man after target man. It never worked.
Yeah.
Do the signings. He didn't know what he wanted. He didn't know his philosophy anymore. That's why Rodgers lost it. And not only that, Guardiola inherited a better team than Klopp, but he also spent more money. He also spent 200 million in that season. He also spent the next year 250. Then he went and bought Mahrez the other year. Then again, he just without Klopp buying anyone. What has he gone and done? He bought Cancelo. Who else did he buy this? He bought Angelino. He bought some. Then he bought Rodri. So I mean, what more does he need? And he's saying he needs more players in the market. How much more does he need to spend to beat us? How much more does he need to spend to beat us? That's what I'm saying. Never compare Klopp and Guardiola. Never. Because if Guardiola came to Liverpool, if Guardiola needs a challenge, why don't you go to a team like, I don't know, you see what Inter Milan do under Antonio Conte? From about 4th, 15th in the league, he's gone there, he's top of the league in December. You know what I mean? That's what you call
They play some good football too, man. Some good football.
Chelsea, when they won the title in the first year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Conte is a very, 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 very underrated manager, and he quietly goes about his business. And for some reason, he's never considered in the same breath as Pep Guardiola, which is strange to me. You know, it really is. And he takes on these projects. You know, Inter Milan was not a job that a lot of managers were trying to get. They weren't desperate to get the Inter Milan job. He took it. He knew it'd be a project, and they are playing some incredible football. I mean, look what Lukaku is doing. You know, so again,
Lautaro Martinez as well. He's been incredible.
Yeah. So that's a good situation over there. Yeah.
So, and this is what I'm saying. Well, if you want a project, right, go to Arsenal. If you want a project, right, go to even when Liverpool on the feast, go to them. If you want a project, go to AC Milan. You know, he wants projects that are players already there for him. They're the top of the league. You know, if he wants a project, go to Borussia Dortmund. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's not a project because what are you honestly going to do? Then you're going to win the league every year. Juventus, obviously Conte, they got experience Conte. But even if he goes there now, they're still the number one. It's like going to City and Liverpool. So it's like Liverpool's the Inter Milan and Juventus is City.
See. I think I know it's still early over there in Serie A. I think I mean, unless Inter have some serious fall from where they are now, I think they're going to win it. Look, that manager with Juventus is not a winning manager. He just isn't. I mean, what he did at Chelsea was cool. What he did with Napoli was cool. I just don't see him as a winning mentality sort of manager. I forget his name. What's his name?
Sorry.
I just don't. So when I saw them appoint him, I was like, ugh. I think Inter could take this. And like I said, it's still early. We you never really know. But I just don't believe in Juventus under that manager. I just don't. So, but we'll see what happens. Let's kind of get to a. I mean, are you assuming that, or do you believe that we'll have pretty much the same back four and front three against Everton?
Or
do you see him changing somebody out?
Yeah, I think it'll be the same thing in the defense and the attack. I think it'll be maybe there might not be. It might be an unchanged team. You actually never know.
Could be.
But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think that's probably our best balance midfield at this current minute. Maybe Keita. I mean, and this is what I said. I mean, I said to Jason after that. Which game was it? The Napoli game. You know, where we had that little chat late night. And I said to Jason, I said to him that look, I said to him, Naby Keita, right, is so far down the pecking order. And I said to him, even Lallana's ahead of him. And he said, nah, let's not go that far. And I agree with him. Obviously, Keita's a much better player than Lallana. But who's coming on in cameo appearances? Who's making more starts? I said, look who came on. Adam Lallana came on instead of Keita. You know what I mean? These little things like this. You know, Keita's so far down the pecking order. And I just don't know where his next sort of start's going to come from. It may come on Wednesday. You never know. But it's just looking unlikely at the minute. It's looking really unlikely. I just don't see that where he's going to get his next start from, to be quite honest with you. It may be the Club World Cup. It may be a game like Watford. But at the minute, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, so who would be your who would you give me your preferred midfield and then tell me who you think Klopp will go with?
Well, as a preferred, see, after the performance Chamberlain put in, I just think that Keita probably deserves a go at this game. You know, I think he probably deserves a go, but I'll go with the same team. That's completely the same team. Obviously, Adrian in for Alisson, but I would give Shane another go in this game, another start, and see what he does. But I think maybe he might go with Henderson, Ronaldo, and Milner. Possibly, you know what I mean? He could go Henderson, Ronaldo, and Milner in this game, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think that's what he might do. But I'm not too sure. I can't really put it. Obviously, with midfield, you never know. I think he might go Henderson, Ronaldo, and Milner. We could see Keita start, could see Chamberlain start, but yeah, that's what I prefer. Chamberlain, Wijnaldum, Henderson. But I think we'll go with Henderson, Wijnaldum, and Milner.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen. I don't know with Klopp, man, anymore, really. And I don't mean that as a negative. I just don't know. It's hard to really guess at this point, even when you think it's pretty much an obvious choice of what he'll go with. And look, I'm happy he went with Ox, and I'm happy that we didn't see Lallana. But I thought that's what we would have saw. That we would saw Lallana in the 6, and then Hendo and Genie. I want to see Naby just like everyone else. But in my mind, it must be something in training. It must be Klopp just not sure if he's fully back or he's not doing something defensively or whatever. It's got to be something, And so hopefully this time off, not coming off the bench, not starting, is giving him just more determination to, take hold of the chance that he does get whenever that may come. So for me, the midfield for Everton, I would say, I would. What I'd like to see is Hendo holding, Genie on one side, and Naby. What I think Klopp will go with is the same one he went with against Brighton. I just don't really. I mean, you give Ox one run. I think that was his first start for us. I think you got to in the league. I think you got to give it to him again because look, we can say he wasn't great, but he did have 2 chances. He did have 2 shots. Yeah, Chamberlain did have 2 shots. I think he, in my opinion, he really looked good as far as what I was questioning him about, which was tracking back, playing defense. Yeah. I thought he looked good at that. So that concern is out of my mind personally. So I love to see him again. And then I think that the back 4 and the front 3 are the same. Obviously, Adrian instead of Alisson. So I'm seeing a really tight game, and I'm thinking,
2-0 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going with scores that say that we can see the goal, and hopefully that'll reverse the psychology of what happens. Because I said 4-0 last game, which it could have easily been, but it wasn't. I'm gonna go another 2-1. It seems like we're 2-1 LFC, 2-1 FC anyway. So,
I'll take it.
At home, I think I can kind of. I hate to say this, but I can kind of see them getting something first, and that just kind of waking us up, and then we just go and smash them. Not necessarily in terms of a whole bunch of goals, but just take the game to them and get out of there and just focus on the next game. So I'm excited about it. I love this time of year, man, because I know the players might not and the managers might not because it's kind of taxing on the body. But as a fan, how can you not love to see these guys twice a week? It's incredible. So
we're gonna see them twice in 2 days in Qatar and Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, you said the Premier League games are going to be on Amazon. So, are they showing the World Cup club matches on BBC or what's going on with that?
Showing it on the BBC.
Okay.
Which is brilliant. It's basically free view, isn't it? Free TV. Just normal satellite. So that's good. So we got that for free. But Amazon Prime is 30-day free trial, isn't it? So that'll be good for us. I'm gonna sign up actually.
But when do those games start though for Amazon? When do those games start?
Tuesday. So the games are Tuesday.
Oh, so this week. Okay.
So the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because Arsenal Brighton's on Thursday, and then it's the whole games on Boxing Day, and that's it. So start your 30-day trial because I want to watch the Burnley Man City game tomorrow. I want to watch that on Tuesday. So
yeah,
I'm gonna be signing up.
I have a feeling that's just the UK thing though. I don't think it's Amazon here. I could be wrong, but
I don't know. Is Amazon Prime in? If you type Amazon Prime in, I don't know. Is it only for UK?
No. What I'm saying is we have Amazon Prime, but I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be televised on Amazon Prime in the States. I could be wrong. I think I read somewhere and said that it was just a UK thing. They're gonna, but I'll find out.
Maybe yeah.
And figure it out. But yeah, man. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we get back together after the Everton match.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Thank you.
All right, bro. See you.
See you, bye.